Man, what up? This big triple crown business. Let's get it, homie.
Today, you already know what it is. Rory Crown Spotlight, man. I'm gonna get y'all with an episode of Barbershop Talk. Real talk, man. You know, let the world know who you are, what you do for those who don't know.
Yeah. So if you don't know, my name is Daryl Phillips, but everybody know me as Be Famous or Famous. I own a barbershop here in Alexandria, Louisiana. It's been open here independently for going into my third year. Being on community service, trying to be an activist to my people and my culture, motivational speaker, just all about optimistic energy. So there it is.
Hey, we're gonna dive right in, man. So, the topic we're gonna touch on today is relationships, man. I think that's a lost art out there. A lot of people don't even understand the meaning of that word, man. So we're gonna dive right in. Like what's your take on relationships?
I mean, when you're talking about relationships, you're talking about something that we try to simplify it being, two people. But inside of a relationship, it becomes so broad because so many different dynamics and characteristics have to be displayed throughout our emotions, whether they're immaturely or maturely experienced. My take on it is that first knowing who you are, being complete with who you are as an individual, then being able to compliment someone else being slightly different from you in a lot of areas.
Right. I agree. I feel like relationships are really two imperfect people, working to be the best version of themselves. That's what it's at least supposed to be. The thing about it is I think we've gotten caught up, or society gotten so caught up in this debate on this 50-50 thing. But just think about it, realistically, it should be 100-100. Because if you giving 50% of you and that person giving 50% of them, that's two half people.
Right.
And people don't realize that, and they hop on that 50% so much. And that's where it get lost, and then you may have a person that's giving 100%, but another person giving 20%.
I agree, I mean that's good because I think that brings in the main reasons why not just relationships but marriages fall or fail because of the 50-50. People not agreeing financially that a person is, I would say, adequate enough with their finances to sustain the stability of the relationship.
Right.
For me, again, that's a lost cause because if all I got is 50% on that bill, I'm still able to give 100% of my finances, just not to that particular bill or at that particular time. And it's been oftentimes considered that if you don't do something, if you're the head of that relationship, if you don't do something fully, give your whole paycheck or give a person all of your finances, and you're not that guy, or sometimes they're female in a relationship that they need, so they're gonna X you out. You don't qualify to be with that person.
Man, I really think, like, honestly, you get to talk about relationship, that's deep. We know that's deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, relationships, it's crazy because number one thing is keeping other people out of the relationship.
Yeah.
Out of your household, because once you open that door, that's where a lot of problems come in. And the biggest thing is, like, people don't realize it be the people closest around that hating, quote unquote, jealous. Because jealousy comes in all forms. It doesn't have to be what you have financially, what your relationship have financially. It can be the love itself.
Right.
You showcasing your love, or your partner is showcasing your love, and you have someone that's close to you, whether it's friends, family, relatives, whatever the case, and they're not receiving that at home, like, or they feel like they've never received that, that's typically the biggest downfall in relationships.
No. 100% agree with you. At first, you would think it's finances,
Right.
but or some people say failed communication, but which both two that has brought them into the relationship and saying, well, this ain't good, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't accept that. And the person that you're in a relationship with then begins to side with the noise on the outside. I told someone that I was close to the other day is that you have so much noise in your ear that you can't even hear what God is telling you.
Right.
And we as individuals in a relationship, we deal with our own trash that we have to empty. For someone else to bring their trash inside the relationship and pile it on top of what you're already dealing with makes your plate full of chaos.
Yep.
You know, and that's what corrupts the relationship. Outside noise, being influenced by people that a lot of times are not married or not happily married.
Or not even longevity relationship.
A longevity relationship. They have no longevity. They have no experience in. 9 times out of 10, they're not giving you godly advice, right? Because a lot of times godly advice doesn't always seem good, but it's also always going to be healthy. And that's why the wisdom of the word of God has to be in a relationship.
That's what I was just about to say, man. I can tell you firsthand, regardless of what people believe, like prayer. You have to have prayer inside your relationship, your marriage, whatever it is, prayer. Like, you have, and I'm talking about that separate prayer life and that together prayer life. Like, man, I'm talking about, I can tell you firsthand, my last whatever you want to call that, like, man, I can admit, the moment I stopped praying over the demonic energy that was coming from their family, was the moment I allowed the devil to completely come in and take over. And it literally almost cost me my life. I just figured, like, literally, you know, and that's a place, man. It's really got me to a point where I understand how people can go live in the mountains and be okay.
100%.
If I wasn't afraid of snakes, man, like, I could literally right now go live off the grid, like, because people don't understand, like, it's when you get betrayed by a person laid next to every night, like, that's a different type of betrayal. You know what I mean? It makes you look at everybody different. Like, man, if this person that I literally gave everything I could to can do this, like, man, what can anybody else out there? You know, it's a tough situation to be in. So you really just, one thing I can say is, man, take heed. Take heed. Those warnings always come before destruction. I don't care how much you love that person, take heed.
That's what the Bible says, when it comes before destruction and the spirit before heart to fall. So yeah, we do be warned, but to your point, prayer. And in my last relationship, which is one that I definitely was embedded in, and I would say that whenever I noticed the enemy was yo-yoing, like, if he's attacking me, that person is probably on the high, and then when that person's being attacked, I'm probably on the low. So it's very significant for me to actually be able to yield at the Spirit of God and then get into prayer. And I used to pray by myself all the time, and I'm like, say, bro, this ain't working. But because he always, just like the beginning of times, he always attacked the real, he always attacked the woman, because a lot of times she's going to be the weaker vessel because of her emotions. And she was created to be emotional, right? And have this attachment that sometimes be inconsistent with what the reality is in a relationship. So when I found it out, I started grabbing hands and started praying out loud. But even with that being said, if the person isn't mature enough in their walk with God, they may have the knowledge of who God is and may have some form of relationship with God. But if they don't have the wisdom of and whenever that person can't discern the difference between y'all going into battle and you still being a man or woman of God, it still would cause the enemy to come in. So say, for instance, I may be the root cause of why we are having differences. And I'm the one that's coming to ask us to pray together. If that person or your counterpart is rejecting that, then the enemy still wins that battle. And when you lose so many battles on the battlefield, what happens? You lose the war. And that's what happened in my last relationship, was that I lost the war. And I took full accountability for losing the war because I am the head.
Right.
And not to get too deep in it, but when Adam had sinned against God because what Eve had asked him to do, God did not come down and speak to Eve. He spoke to Adam.
Right.
Because Adam had the responsibility to take care of everything that God had gave him dominion over, which included the woman he brought from his rib.
Right.
And as men or the head of the relationships, when we don't do that, or when it do fall, we have to take the responsibility and say it's my fault.
Yeah.
Because before that woman can receive anything from God, if we're aligned with this covering, it has to come through me. That's why it's important for a woman to understand what we probably gonna jump on, and that's being submissive. Being submissive. If she's submissive to me to be aligned with what I am with God, then the blessings that God flowed to me will flow to her. But what women fail to realize, when you don't submit to a man, meaning that you don't trust his vision, you don't trust his leadership, and you don't trust him being a man of God, then everything you're asking him to do, it's not that he's incapable of doing it, it's you're not supporting the vision so God can funnel what he has for you through the man. Because when you're in that relationship, in that covenant, that's the only way that a woman can really be truly blessed.
So do you feel like a woman should still submit to a man and that man is not properly leading?
So it varies. If he's out of order, and all right, let's back up. I'm sorry. So, because we're God-fearing people, and this is for people that believe in God and know that God is who he say he is. And if we're speaking to that audience, I would say that first, we gotta be with the person that are equally yoked, right? Meaning that person believe what I believe.
Right.
You know, and that's why the Bible say, how can two walk together unless they agree?
Yep, that's the biggest thing, man.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
You and I are here today because we agreed
Right.
at an appointed time.
Yep.
Even though I was tardy, it was an appointed time and we agreed, so we made this happen. And that's what submissive mean. A man has to submit to God, she has to submit to that man, right? But if he doesn't submit to God and she's God-fearing, right, and he's out of order, guess what?
She's not gonna submit.
She's not going to submit because she can't.
Yep.
Because nothing's flowing through him, but then she has the right to correct him.
Right.
And let him know, like, hey.
And I think you brought up one of the biggest things, man. Like, people don't get back to courtship. That's the number one thing.
Yes.
Because a lot of people jump into relationships and you don't even agree on the same things, like for as finances, children, your future, not even where you want to reside. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be in a relationship. So you see people be in a relationship 3-4 years. They ask you, well, babe, where you want to settle down? Oklahoma, Tennessee. Like, dang, y'all never really sat down and discussed like the basics or religion or kids or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's a lot of that's because people not even, first of all, they're not even formally getting into a relationship. It's just, oh man, we slept together, okay, now we're together. You know what I mean? That's one of the biggest things. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, one thing I can say, man, that they probably gonna hate that, but that single miserable black parent or single miserable parent, period, like, man, you have to let go. You have to, I tell people all the time, man, you have to unlearn everything you was taught and relearn. Absolutely. Because a lot of the things that we was taught or taught ourselves or learned behavior from watching behavior was bad. It was very unhealthy. Our parents and grandparents did the best they could with what they knew. Yeah. You know, they didn't have the access that we have to everything. Now, some of it is good, but, you know, some of it is bad. The thing is, like, that's where that prayer come in, that prayer life, that discernment, that understanding. But it's just like, man, I know my biggest thing, like you say, going back to it, taking accountability. And I have to. Like, the situation I'm in right now, I can't really blame anybody. And I've been opening up more about it lately because, for one, I was ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't learn anything else from this experience, especially fighting for my life due to this experience, I learned, like, I messed up because I put them before God. That was the number one mistake. Right. That you get so caught up in your relationship trying to give that partner the world, you know, quote unquote, we want to give you the world, but how can we give somebody something that don't even belong to us? Yeah. You know what I mean? No, I agree. Like, that's one of the biggest things. So I have to take accountability. Yeah. Like, I just admitted to my attorney the other day, like, man, I said one of the dumbest things in the world because the power of the tongue is real.
It's
real
real.
powerful.
The Bible
and
says-
you know, like I know,
Yes.
they was going through their own situation, and
Yes.
I never forget. I said, like, if I could trade places with you, I would.
That's what you said. Matter of fact, you said that in the shop. That was in 2018.
Yep. And here I am.
Today.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm in this, and to the
Right.
outsiders may not understand
Right.
why
But
I'm in this situation,
Right.
but I understand it.
Yeah.
If it's not even as much as me admitting this in front of the world, admitting this in front of God, like
Yeah.
this mission and journey that I'm on right now
Yeah.
is way bigger than what man can see. Cause I know like the mistakes that was made. It's not even the charge. It's not
Right.
what they're saying. No,
Right.
it's bigger than that. And
Right.
that's because I'm on this spiritual walk. So
Right.
God got me sitting there like, man, I was gonna be quiet on this, like, man, I was dumb.
Yeah.
But now you gotta like this test gotta become a testimony. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
And not to cut you off, but I don't want to lose a point that you made. And I'm glad you said it because I want to highlight something outside of what we're talking about is relationships. You said something. You said there's there's power in the tongue, and the Bible says there's power of life and death in the tongue. And see what you did whenever you spoke life into her,
Yep.
right? In a death situation,
Yep.
and you brought light to it. But God couldn't use that person for the testimony that he had for you.
Yep.
So in today's time, fast forward, he said, okay, now I'm going to test you to see what your faith hold on to the light, which is the word and the promises of God, to get through this, to give the people my testimony. Now, the second point I want to tell you is that when you say that you had to take account for the situation you're in, you take full accountability. A lot of people always say they take accountability, right? But one thing that I can say on camera, off camera, or even to God when I pray for you, is that your accountability has shown up in everybody else's life that has been in shingles, right? People that have had shortcomings, people that don't have the ability to understand, people that don't know how to do certain things. Guess what you have brought? You're brought function after function. You've been the most charitable person that I've known in a situation where a person is facing, you know what I mean, time away from their loved ones, where a lot of people will be selfish, boxed in, closed in the church, stuck, don't want to do nothing for nobody because they want everybody to do something for them. You took that act and did just what God did, gave his only begotten son for us to die for our sins when he had no one else. He gave his son. You ain't got nothing else, and you're giving everything. You ain't got nothing else, and you gave everything to everybody else, and not looking for nothing in return, but to proactively stop individuals from going down a dark path or being used or being manipulated. So I'm going to say this. Accountability in the flesh is you. Because I can't even give myself that as an example as good as I think I may be doing. What you've done relentlessly, consistently, you hear me? Without reserving any energy or time, man, it's nothing but God. And I always tell people, how can you go into prayer and ask for a withdrawal from God and you haven't made a deposit? Yeah. And you don't think about the deposits you made because it's from your heart. It's naturally who you are, you know, and it's not a cover up, you know. But the tattoo is the blood of Jesus on your life, and you've shown it to his people. And for that reason, that's why I always tell you when you come in, oh, we good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We good. You know what I'm saying? And why are we good? Because I see the work that you're doing for the kingdom of God, you know, and to you it's nothing. Like people come in here and tell me, to you it's nothing because you still got so much more that you want to do and you're trying to accomplish for the people. Ain't that's what Christ did?
Yeah, you're right, man. I never looked at it, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't that what Christ did?
Never looked at it.
You know, homie came down here like bucking against the high priest and the Pharisees. Like, nah, man, look, man, I need them people. I got to do this for the Most High God. He say, if it be your will. You know what I'm saying? But if not, man, I'm ready to ride with you to the cross. And it's the same thing that you're showing to the Most High God. So that's why when you told me what you told me yesterday about, hey, I did this, and this is the result of it. Oh, bet we good.
Right.
Now watch the Most High move. Because you say, I'm going to get it out of my hand and try to control it and put it in God's hand. Because man can't use God, but God use man even when they want to go against him. And that's where the power of God stands as an example that he is the true and one and only living God. You feel me?
Yep.
So I wanted you to understand that.
appreciate
You
that,
brought that
man.
up.
I appreciate
And
that.
that goes, not to over talk, but that goes back to relationships. Because of your relationship with God, you was willing to sacrifice your life for somebody in hopes of them not feeling the pain that they felt. Jesus came down and stood in the gap for us in hopes.
So we don't feel that same.
So we don't feel that same pain they feel.
And that's crazy, cause like, not even realizing that's like one of the most selfless things you can do. And it came naturally, right, man? I needed
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
We gonna end this episode right there.
Yeah, man.
For real, and it's all unscripted, like.
Yeah, no script. All spirit, man. All love, man. I appreciate you 100 times over. You heard me? Because even when you don't think you're a blessing, man. So I appreciate you 100 times over. You know what I mean? Because it helped motivate me. You know what I mean? To stay the course, and it lets me know what I am not doing and what I need to do. So man, I appreciate that. But man, again, love forever. You heard? Yes, sir. Appreciate.